Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
We gonna rock you, baby! This is my beautiful co-host, Lynn from Germany.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let me introduce to you my wonderful co-host, Zaldo from San Francisco. Good evening and welcome to the opening ceremony of
YMCA 175! Let's do this!
Can we all get up, please?
Let's all
Can
do
we
this
all
together.
get up?
I want you to turn to the person next to you, right? And we're gonna do this again. I'm gonna do YMCA 175. I want you to high five the person right next to you, all right? So, right, y'all ready? Everybody ready? Let me see a thumbs up. Let's do this. YMCA 175! Woo!
Woo! Wow. Wow. It's incredible just to see all of you while the lights are still up. So actually to get an overview of all of you. Welcome to all of you, over 300, no, over 3,000, wait, over 300, over 3,000 delegates, people from over 100 countries. YMCA 175 is our opportunity to make a statement to the world that young people are leading change in our communities and contexts in every corner of the world.
And during the next,
Yeah.
let's go. And during the next 4 days, we will connect to learn, to share, and take action to celebrate 175 years of YMCA and young people transforming our communities, and to create new ideas and address social issues and shape the future of global leaders.
Yeah.
Round of applause for yourself.
Just know and be aware that this is your opportunity, this is your event, and this is your space. And we hope that you experience an inclusive event that promotes equity and understanding of human diversity. That we meet people in their contexts with respect and understanding.
And to challenge and be challenged, engage, and first and foremost, have fun.
Woo!
Let's do this. Young people power our communities, this world, and YMCA for the last 175 years, and will continue to do that into the future.
So, before we're going to start into the evening, like properly, we're very lucky and would like to acknowledge that we're joined by some very special people here tonight. And we'd like to take a moment to say thank you to our guests from the United Nations, including the UN Youth Envoy and Madam President. And yeah, give it up. And also to the presidents of YMCA's global movement, which is Europe's Mike Will. Yeah. England and Wales, Reg Bailey. Asia Pacific Alliance's Babu Gomez. And World YMCA's Patricia Pelton.
And to our partners and sponsors, Viacom, Generation for Change, Delta Airlines, Wells Fargo, the NBA, Welcome Trust, TED Education and TED Masterclass, National Lottery Heritage Fund, Key Travel, Darkness to Light, YMCA World Urban Network, Wise Men International, and special guests from Greater London Authority, Global Citizen, United Nations Foundation, Forbes, DVEX, and the Sierra Club.
Yeah. The list continues to our keynote speakers, workshop, and activity leaders, to the change agents of all cohorts. they are. And newly inducted cohort 4. Yep. Family descendants of George Williams and John Amott. Viewers watching around the world online on the live stream. Give them a wave, give them a wave. And young leaders of the world right here and right now.
So Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, sent his apologies that he could not be with us tonight, but wanted to pass on a special message thanks to the Young Londoners Fund.
Hello. I'd like to welcome you all to London. It's exciting to see so many young leaders from over 100 countries here in our city. The very place the YMCA was founded 175 years ago, just outside the walls of St. Paul's Cathedral. And you should be inspired by the opportunities you have today. You're here to learn, challenge, and inspire each other to shape the future of the world that you want to live in. I may be biased, but I firmly believe that you are in the best city in the world. But with your help, we can make it even better by sharing ideas and working together to help tackle the challenges we face. Challenges like the climate emergency threatening our planet, the level of homelessness in our major cities, and challenges such as making sure we have opportunities for all our young people. So please enjoy the day, have a productive conference, and while you're here, know that London is open to you, and please enjoy what our great city has to offer.
Right. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for this evening. And it's a huge honor to have her with us, the United Nations Envoy of Youth, Jayathma Wickramanayake.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Are you having a good time? Good. My name is Jayathma Wickramanayake, and I am the UN Secretary General's Envoy on Youth. So in other words, I am your envoy to the United Nations. So it is such a great pleasure for me to be here with all of you this evening to help kick off this landmark event celebrating YMCA's 175th anniversary. Congratulations. What a rich history of positively impacting the lives of millions of young people and communities all around the world. YMCA is an instrumental partner in my work and in the work of the United Nations at large. Therefore, it is an honor for me to join you all in London, the birthplace of this remarkable organization, to recognize and celebrate 175 years of intrinsic effort and support to communities around the world. We have over 3,000 incredible youth leaders from over 100 countries in the audience, and millions more watching from home all over the globe tonight. I am very excited to be among such an impressive community of young people, rich in diversity, rich in innovative ideas, and full of initiative to tackle some of the biggest challenges that we as a world are facing. The following days will be full of opportunities to engage and collaborate with fellow young people from around the world, celebrate YMCA's commitment to youth, and design bold and creative solutions to address social and environmental challenges. YMCA's mission of providing young people with safe spaces and opportunity to develop their knowledge and skills, discover their personality and identify their purpose, and take an active role in transforming communities aligns with Youth 2030, the United Nations strategy for engaging and empowering young people. Over the years, both personally and in my capacity as the Youth Envoy for the United Nations, I have witnessed the tremendous obstacles that young people face on a daily basis. Gender-based discrimination, the impacts of climate change, lack of access to basic human rights, such as quality education and decent jobs, are just some of the many obstacles that young people face today. An estimated 59 million young people all around the world today are unemployed. 136 million are working but living in poverty. 262 million children are out of school as we speak, and every 2 seconds, a girl is given away in marriage as a child. Close to 408 million young people currently live in conflict-affected areas or fragile states. Millions of children and young people live in refugee camps and displaced camps around the world. For young people in conflict settings, they are more likely to suffer casualties and have the most to lose from engaging in violence. Climate change is one of the defining issues of our time and affects us all. Natural disasters and extreme weather events occur more frequently at a higher magnitude, exacerbating the vulnerability of already marginalized communities and presenting new challenges to developed countries. Young people have inherited a world plagued by the consequences of actions or sometimes inactions of generations before us. It's up to us to mitigate and reverse the effects of climate change, not just for our benefit, but for generations to come. Despite these seemingly unsurmountable difficulties, young people, like many of you in the audience tonight, have a knack to turning challenges into opportunities. Youth continue to serve as torchbearers and agents of hope, playing pivotal roles in the work towards a more sustainable, prosperous, just, and fair future. It's time for young people to be recognized as active agents and partners who contribute value. I can tell you from my experience that young women and men all over the world are making a difference by tackling the issues that matter most to them. We must view young people not just as leaders of tomorrow, but rather as leaders of today. When given the right tools and opportunities, young people thrive in making the world a better place. We are a generation of change makers, creating social and economic development, disrupting social norms and the status quo. Our generation possesses the power to build a foundation for a better world. And that's why we must ensure that all young people can reach their fullest potential so that they can contribute to this cause. I'm so happy to note how YMCA around the world is taking ownership of and driving the Sustainable Development Goals. Currently, half of our world's population is under the age of 30. So achieving the Sustainable Development Goals will remain a dream rather than a reality if we do not engage the young people of today meaningfully and effectively. As the United Nations Envoy on Youth, it is my job to bring the United Nations closer to young people and bring young people like you closer to the United Nations. 100 years younger than the YMCA, the United Nations will be celebrating its 75th birthday next year. Although we are 75, we are increasingly getting younger and younger every day in the way we want to open up the United Nations for young people. So I take this opportunity to extend an open invitation to all of you to support our mission, to support our work at the United Nations. To value peace, to respect human rights, to believe in dialogue and cooperation, to respect diversity, and to treat each other with dignity. It's thanks to youth-focused organizations like the YMCA that young people feel empowered to address the issues that matter the most to them. With that, I would like to congratulate this incredible organization once again and encourage all youth leaders here to take advantage of the vast array of tools, resources, and platforms the YMCA has to offer throughout this event and after. Here's to 175 more years of empowering young people. Happy birthday, YMCA.
That you all have the chance to hear Jayathma speak again, and that is tomorrow. So make sure you check your event app. If you haven't downloaded it yet, please do, and add it to your schedule. So she'll be appearing on the flagship environment panel tomorrow, as well as the Q&A session afterwards in the plaza. So thank you so much, Jayathma.
And next up, why don't we find out a bit more about this beautiful country that we're all spending at least the next few days in?
Oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I'll set you holding back. She said, shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said, ooh, shut up and dance with me. We were victims of the night, the chemical, physical kryptonite, and on this to the base and the fading light. I know we were bound to get together, bound to get together. She took my arm, I don't know how it happened. We got the law and she said, oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said, shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said, ooh, shut up and dance with me. A backless dress and some beat up sleeves. My discotheque, Juliet, teenage dreams. I felt it in my chest when she looked at me. I knew we were bound to be together, bound to be together. She took my arm, I don't know how it happened. We took the floor and she said, oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said, shut up and dance with me. This woman is Deep in her eyes, I think I see the future. I realize this is my last chance. She took my arm. I don't know how it happened. We took the floor and she oh, don't you dare look back. Just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said, shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said, woo, woo. Shut up and dance. Don't you dare look back. Just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said, shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said, woo, woo. Shut up and dance with me. Shut up and dance with me. Shut up and dance with me.
Work hard, Dad said. Work hard and good things will happen. And so I went to meet my destiny and make my fortune in the greatest city in England and the centre of the world. Hyper's London!
Hey, what's your secret? It's no secret, it's a conversion, is all.
What's that then? The long hours, the daily grind.
I've battled all my life for the right to work. So don't tell me it's a prison or the root of misery. Work is a gift.
Yes, it is, but it can also be a curse. If men won't go to the churches and chapels, or if the churches and chapels cease to feed our souls, there must be somewhere else.
Post, sir.
Oh, thank you, Lawrence. Just leave it on the desk.
If I may, the letter on top might deserve immediate attention.
Very well. You know what this is?
I have my suspicions. A knighthood, sir?
Well, it's a great honor. A great honor. I shall refuse it, of course.
If I may, sir. I thought you might say that. See it as being for the association. You may see it in a very different light then.
I confess I hadn't thought of it like that. I shall need to pray on this. See that I'm not disturbed, would you?
Of course, sir. You do have your 2 o'clock appointment. The reporter, sir.
Yes! Strange, people pestering me for memoirs and the like now.
Strange, sir.
Well, the fact is, I can scarcely think of anything anyone would wish to write about.
I'll see you're not disturbed.
Thank you, Lawrence. Memoirs. Memoirs. Yes. Let me take you back. Back to where it all began. The 6th of June, 1844. Blackfriars Bridge, London.
George, there you are. Are you all right? You must be very pleased. Business is booming. The house is quite transformed.
I think I must be so blind. How have I not seen it before?
What do you mean?
It's hard to put into words. You really have to see it for yourself, and If you don't see it, then I don't think I can.
You're tired, friend.
There's so much. Yes, I'm tired. I like to come here.
It's peaceful.
The past 3 nights I've come here. First night I was happy, proud about the house even. I was smiling, and then I looked up and out and I saw it. When did this happen?
George, I think you're exhausted.
No, Val, look, you can see it all from here.
The work,
it's
the
the
business,
whole city. Look, Val. Christ, he promised fullness of life. 1,800 years later, is that what this is? Look.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
Look there. Look there. You see the men leaving their work? Do you see them?
Yes, I see them.
Then watch. Just watch. Watch their faces as they relax. There! Do you see it? All day they have held that mask. The weariness takes them, the pain. Do you see it? It's only there for a moment, but do you see it?
I see it. It's gone now.
Yes, it's brief. But for an instant, it's so strong, they want to scream.
It just flickers across. They don't see it in themselves.
Their senses are dull to it, I think.
When did we become so sedated?
It's our generation. It's a whole generation sacrificed on the altar of what? Work. That's what overwhelms me.
George, there's so many of them.
There's a whole race of workers in this city. They aren't the poorest. They make no appeal for help. But there's a cost to that work. And they suffer. And they do so alone.
No one sees them.
Well, we've seen them.
George, what we've begun, what we've started...
Just the beginning. I want to do what we have begun in every large establishment in London.
I'll help you.
You will?
Of course I will.
Thanks, Val.
We need to call a meeting. I'll get the lads together.
Yes, good idea. And it was on that day, June the 6th, 1844.
Come on, George.
Coming, Val. That the Young Men's Christian Association was formed.
Thank you so much. So this was Salt Mine Theatre Company, who were actually commissioned especially to create this piece, or a piece, of theatre based around the story of George Williams and the YMCA.
Yeah. We are lucky that we're going to get to see some parts of that production over the next few days, so perhaps even here on the main stage again. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled.
So, as most of you probably know, the YMCA was started in this country at a time of industrialization. But throughout the YMCA's history, we've had great moments of influence throughout history.
Yeah, so here at the Y175, there's an amazing exhibition where you can explore some of those moments. Here's just one example.
YMCA has witnessed a multitude of historical events since it was founded in 1844, evolving its services over the decades and spreading across the world to support 58 million people in 119 countries. One thing that hasn't changed is its offer of vital support and care for those in need. Throughout the 20th century's two world conflicts, YMCA was a significant presence both on the front line and at home, offering material, educational and spiritual support. Scores of courageous YMCA volunteers eased the misery and suffering of soldiers with places offering food, drink and a place to rest. Ken Montgomery from YMCA England and Wales visited YMCA's archives at the Cadbury Research Library to look at some artefacts and tell us just a few of the ways YMCA supported soldiers and their families.
10 years before the war broke out, YMCA had already been providing support to young men that were in training within the armed forces. So it was almost like a natural progression. Whenever war broke out, that they would ramp up that level of service. And that's how they had the credibility, I guess, from the army, that they were accepted as part of the service providers of care and support for young soldiers. So the YMCA was involved in support and welfare for the troops that were serving. They stepped up to the mark right from the very outset of war, where there was no original standing army, as it were, and we were working with volunteers. During the war, whenever there was incidents happening across England, very often you would find YMCA tea cars providing tea and coffee and so on to those who perhaps had their properties bombed. And that same principle applied right across the whole of Europe to the forces that were engaged there. An example of where people engaged as volunteers with YMCA was a young woman, and the name of that young woman was Betty Stevenson. And the job that she had was picking up families of soldiers who were wounded, and she would drive them back and forward every day to the hospital until their loved one passed away. And sadly, she was killed in the back of a vehicle when she was being evacuated. The services really that we have offered may seem like run-of-the-mill day-to-day services. But if I can quote Gandhi and say, the little things you do may seem insignificant, but it's crucial that you do them. And I believe that's what we were doing during both world wars, and we continue to do it with the young people up and down the country today.
More than 1 million British soldiers died during the First and Second World War, including 42 YMCA civilian volunteers. YMCA continues to remember the sacrifices that were made during both world wars.
Yes. So we've heard about the history of the YMCA in England with young leaders. And I think it's time to hear from some of the current young leaders in the Y in London.
Welcome to London.
Welcome to London.
Bienvenue à Londres.
Welcome to London.
We are so excited that you've come to London for YMCA 175.
Here in London, we have some amazing places to visit. Stunning architecture, historic buildings, places of real importance. But what makes London really special are the people who live and work here.
I like London. London is a very nice city and a nice weather, and people are nice. Everybody is welcoming, smiling. So enjoy your time in London. Welcome to London. Thank you.
It's such a diverse city. There's so much to do, so much history. There's so much to see. So get out there and have fun.
Nous voici à Saint-Paul's Cathedral, là où YMCA a tenu sa première réunion en 1844.
Fastest way around London is probably the tube. Make sure you use your Oyster to tap in and to tap out. So make sure you get yourself a tube map, either online or on an app.
If you're hungry, there's so many cafes and restaurants around town. Definitely look online first. There's so many discounts. Or one of the best ways to enjoy a meal is to get out and have a picnic in one of our parks.
London is a hub of multiculturalism. If you look hard enough, you can find food from almost every culture here. from Chinatown to small street vendors. So go out, have a look, and find some really great food.
YMCA 175 is all about connecting, celebrating, and creating, and we can't wait to get started.
Welcome to YMCA 175.
Let's make some more noise for Curiosity. It seems to me like the concerns of young people in the UK are the same as young people everywhere in the world. It's so important that we have events like this where we can come together, and I'm excited that the SDGs are so embedded this week.
You know, I think they really have to be, as they are so important. But do you think that everybody knows what SDG goals are? Do you know? Some of you?
Well, funny you should mention it. As it happens, I have a little something. Play the video.
Global citizen, sharing our philosophy. Goal 1, no poverty, obviously. Goal 2, no hunger, say sayonara. Aloha to good health. Obrigada. Y hola, la cuarta meta, educación. Igualdad y calidad en toda la nación. Goal 5, we got a call for a policy of gender equality. Let's harmonize the frequencies. Goal 6, gotta pick up yo I'm just stating for that clean water and sanitation. Goal 7, renewable energy. Heavenly divine sun, that's where you can find some. Goal 8, good jobs and economic growth. 9, innovation and infrastructure is integral. Goal 10, reduced inequalities. 11, sustainable cities and communities. Goal 12, you gotta have responsible consumption. 13, climate action, carbon reduction. 14 and 15 go hand in hand. We got life below water and life on land. 16, peace and justice. Life isn't just us or just you or just me, which brings me to 17. Partnerships for the goals, go for the goal. The more we work together, the farther we can go.
So, the ones of you who knew before what the SDG goals are, they know why they are important. To the rest of you, this will have explained what they are and why they are so important. To us, it is important to actively be involved in making sure that we achieve these goals as a global community, and that the voices of our young leaders are amplified in our conversations throughout this week. So, Nza-Ari, should we invite some of our young leaders in the movement to join us and share their thoughts?
Definitely. Hang on. I'll go find some. Found you.
Right.
This is Mia from the US. Can we get a round of applause?
Come on. Right, sit there. Hi, Mia. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, of course.
So if you could just quickly introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about what you're here to tell.
Okay. So I'm Mia. I'm from the United States. So in the early 1900s, my great-grandmother moved to America as an immigrant to escape the Armenian genocide. She moved her whole entire family to the United States, and they lived in poverty for many years. My grandfather, from there in the 1970s, founded a company, and he devoted his whole entire life to it. From there, he grew a very successful franchise. Now, fast forward to 2008, I was in the 2nd grade, and I had just received my first communion. My godparents gave me their gift. They placed this big box in my lap, and in my head, I was like, well, this is awesome, like big box, big gift. And I opened it up, and inside was a framed piece of paper and a pamphlet for an orphanage in Haiti. It took me a minute, but they explained to me that the gift that they were giving me, it couldn't be touched, it couldn't be played with, and it couldn't be listened to. It had none of the exciting characteristics that a kid would want for a toy. But it could only be appreciated if I had chosen to act on it. So I did. And when I was 13, I went on my first trip to Haiti, and I visited an orphanage. And I immediately found there that life wasn't a matter of living as much as it is a matter of surviving. I was exposed to people who were suffering from extremities of dehydration and hunger. And it was on this first trip that I sat at a spelling bee for about 8 hours in 100-degree weather, and I didn't understand a word of what was going on. I was just kind of like sitting there and tapping my foot. But the whole time, I held one of our children who's handicapped. She has CP on our lap, and she can't speak. And she taught me that you don't need words to be able to communicate with another person. A kid, no matter their circumstance, just wants to be held and loved and played with. And they can still feel that beyond communication through words. Thank you. Now, it took me a few trips to be able to connect with the teenagers at our orphanage. Most of them are very close in age to me, and as I've gone back, they've grown with me. And I would always try to play with them and kind of joke with them, but they'd always roll their eyes and walk away like any teenager would. But one night I stayed up a little bit later with them than I normally would have, and I almost immediately connected with them. I realized that they didn't want to play and they didn't want their photo taken like the kids did. They wanted a solid connection with somebody that they knew was going to be back to see them again. They taught me that people want a consistent relationship. It's necessary to have consistency to maintain relationships. Every single time I go back, right before I leave, this one boy, McKendy, asks me, when am I going to see you again? And I can't imagine a day that I have to sit there and look at him and say, I don't know, or I might not be coming back. After my third trip, I was at summer camp. I was at a YMCA summer camp, and I was talking to my friends just about my trip and my experiences. And I was sitting there, and I started bawling my eyes out, like uncontrollably. I had no idea what this emotion was. But once I thought about it and figured it out, I realized that this was a compassion that I was feeling, an empathy for these people that I'd met. And I'd never conversed with them fully. I've never spent more than a few weeks with them at a time, but I could still feel this longing to be with them and be there for them. So now, I'm 18. I can think back, connect, and reflect on all these moments in my life. And Haiti has instilled in me this compassion and this drive that I want to lean into to share in any way that I can. I look back at my great-grandmother, who helped my family survive, and I look back at my grandfather, who's helped my family thrive, and how those moments in their life were gifts to me, because I can take their success and their stories and use this love that I have and this privilege that they've given me to share this compassion that I can't help it. So this opportunity to connect with another culture and grow my own understanding of why I'm here, what the purpose of my life is. I look at my family's history and I recognize that I'm able to take their hard work and share myself and my love in ways that they might have not had a chance to. And I continue to set the examples of how to love within and beyond your own communities. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. While we let that sink in, Zaldi, can you have a look if we have another one backstage, not backstairs, backstage?
Give me 1 second.
That's okay.
Ooh, found you too. Here you go. Everybody, this is Alex from the UK.
Okay. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm from YMCA Barnsley, which is in the north of England. We're a youth work YMCA. I've been a member there all my life. My parents are members. They actually met through the YMCA. When I was 15, I had my first international YMCA experience at the Prague Festival. Maybe some of you were there. I came back determined to change the world. I was going to end climate change, eradicate homelessness, and accomplish world peace. But I soon learned that that wasn't going to happen. I, one person, wasn't going to be able to do all of those things. I didn't really know much about ending conflict. I knew very little about climate change. And no matter how much I thought my opinion was really important, I couldn't just walk up to world leaders and decide that they were going to change their minds and that's what was going to happen. I quickly realized that I needed another plan if I was going to have an impact. But what could I do? I alone can't bring an end to all of the world's problems, but what I can do is inspire other people to fight for change too. Change has to start small. I'm yet to meet a person who transformed overnight from disengaged to an international campaigner. So start with the small. The next time someone says to you, I hate it when, it really annoys me that people do. Ask them, well, what are you going to do about it? Encourage them to change it. It's really rare that someone will have the skills to start off on a huge scale, but start small and start local. Support them to speak to their principal, to their local politician, to their community leader, whoever it may be that can start them on their journey to making change. From there, support them to take the next step, talk to the next person, attend the next conference, until eventually they're able to do it all alone. They'll end up somewhere like the UN, debating how to engage young people in their communities and campaigning internationally for young people's representation, thinking, how on earth did I get here? Well, that's what happened to me at least. I encourage you all to go back to your YMCAs and support your communities. Encourage young people to change the things that irritate them, be that doing a litter pick, volunteering at a local youth work session, or organising an international event. What I do is easy, and you can do it too. Support them to do the thing that gets them engaged, whatever that thing is. Light those sparks and kindle their fire until that young person can keep the fire burning themselves. Make young people feel like someone believes in them, that they're important, and that they have the power to do great things. And that will help us all to change the world.
Thank you, Mia. Thank you, Alex. We appreciate it. Another round of applause for them.
Do that conga, no, you can control yourself any longer. Feel the rhythm of the music getting stronger. Don't you fight to do that conga. Ding, 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 There's no way we're gonna stop. to the conga. Bow!
Wow. Thank you, Curiosity. Thank you, delegates.
Woo! I seen that conga line. Looking amazing. Looking amazing. So YMCA 175's program will be led by hundreds of young leaders with inspirational. I'm gonna let the conga lines get to their seats real quick.
Okay.
So, YMCA 175 program will be led by hundreds of young leaders in inspirational projects and organizations, and our ideas and initiatives to tackle social issues and challenge. Our first is no exception, and we're proud to welcome our first keynote speaker.
Yes, I'd like to welcome Nza-Ari Khepra, who founded Project Orange Tree in 2013 after losing her dear friend to a senseless act of gun violence in Chicago. Project Orange Tree soon became the inspiration behind the annual Wear Orange campaign, which is now celebrated nationally. Nza-Ari's also joining us today on behalf of Viacom's Generation Change initiative set out to... Hang on. I'm German, I'm sorry. This isn't my first language. Trying again. Nza-Ari is also joining us today on behalf of Viacom's Generation Change initiative, set out to elevate and empower young people driving change globally. There we go. Her mission is to unify organizations and communities with the common goal of ending gun violence. So I'd like to introduce Nza-Ari Khepra from Viacom's Youth Advisory Board.
Thank you so much. Wow. Good evening, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Awesome. My name is Nza-Ari Khepra, and I cannot express how excited and humbled I am to be in front of you all here today. Before I tell you a little bit about myself, I first want to thank everyone here. I'm beyond grateful for your presence and attention, and to the YMCA for bringing together young people from around the world. It's moments like this that bring me confidence that our collective future will be brighter than ever before. And I hope that sharing my story can be the first step to showing a little bit of my gratitude to you all. I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago, which is in the Midwest of the United States. My community is beautiful, but it does have a plethora of issues, including gun violence. Although I was aware of the high levels of violence, I still never believed it would impact me. Unfortunately, I was wrong. During my junior year in high school, when I was 16 years old, my classmates and I were violently forced to grow up earlier than anyone should have. On January 29th of 2013, our friend, Hadia Pendleton, was shot at a park near our high school and later pronounced dead. Hadia was a 15-year-old volleyball player, honor roll student, and a majorette who had just recently performed in President Obama's second inauguration. Although her passing created a sadness unlike any other I've ever experienced in my community, Hadia's life became an inspiration for a campaign and an organization named Project Orange Tree, which was recognized on a national and international level. While Chicago's gun violence is known throughout the world, even most Chicagoans don't understand the complexities of it. It's often labeled gang violence, but Hadia wasn't in a gang. And many young people who are shot and killed every day in Chicago aren't in gangs either. Project Orange Tree, the movement and campaign that I co-founded, is a youth-led violence awareness organization that is focused on fighting structural violence, which is an umbrella term used for things like institutionalized racism, failing school systems, and food deserts. While we, the members of Project Orange Tree, hosted community forums, candlelight vigils, and anti-food desert food drives around Chicago, our movement became the inspiration for the Wear Orange campaign. And also the National Gun Violence Awareness Day. It's in early June, close to Hadia's birthday. A small but powerful idea that my friends and I created became the motivation for an entire country to declare its desire to eradicate gun violence nationally. The world has cautiously watched the prevalence of Chicago's gun violence continue to grow. During summer, when most youth should be excited about having time off from school, going to the beach, hosting bonfires at the point, Chicago's young people are choosing to learn how to become first responders to gunshot wounds. They're creating organizations to combat violence in their own communities. We are not even officially through the summer, and Chicago has already had over 1,602 people shot. On a national level, there have been a slew of headlines that talk about innocent children, concert goers, college students, and so many more people being exposed to violence in places that are meant to be safe. And outside of Chicago, the problem persists and is as bad as ever. If you look at the news headlines in the last 24 hours, nearly 30 people were killed in mass shootings, 2 separate mass shootings. Even though those stories are tragic on their own, there are many other stories that go untold. In the US alone, on an average day, 96 people are shot and killed. And in an average month, 50 women are shot to death by their intimate partners. These stats remind us that those US lawmakers care more about people's perceptions of their rights instead of their actual safety. Stop believing that gun violence is someone else's issue. Stop believing that your ideas to help a community are not warranted. Start believing that small wins are possible and that communities like these, gathered here today, exist around the world. Motivated and inspired individuals eager to make a difference. Young people who are ready and willing to fight for what is right. Speak up. Let your voice be a catalyst for change. The time to act is now. Thank you. Thank you all for this opportunity. My name is Nza-Ari Khepra. I'm proud to be representing Viacom Generation Change, and I fully intend to change the world.
Thank you, Nza-Ari. Thank you so much. While we're on a roll, let's bring another brilliant speaker out here, which is Ashley Kalaya.
Oh, hi. Am I chatting here with you all?
Oh, yeah. Please, come.
Thank you.
Fuzzy green.
AstroTurf. This is good.
Yes, nice.
Hello.
Hiya.
Hi. How are you doing? Good. How are you? I'm doing very well. I'm a little. Are any of you all feeling a little bit jet lagged? Those of you who traveled far to be here? A little bit? Earlier today, I was chatting with some old friends and one new friend. A young woman introduced herself to me and asked a very simple question. She said, "Where are you from?" And I couldn't answer her because I'm on week 5 of a lot of traveling, lots of different time zones, and it just so happened that I was standing in a semicircle with my mentor from the YMCA, and the reason that I ever started doing youth work in the first place, from South Carolina, which is where I grew up. I was standing with, I think they're from South Carolina. I was standing with a former colleague of mine from Kentucky. I used to run the Youth and Government program there. And I had just left a conversation with a current colleague of mine from the YMCA in San Francisco, which is where I now live. So when this very lovely woman asked where I was from, I looked around and just stared blankly because I was tired and I couldn't think of the answer. And thankfully, my mentor in high school and always jumped in and said, "I can tell you. She's from South Carolina, but she works in Kentucky now. She lives in San Francisco and works for TED." And I was like, yeah, that's it. That's true. All of that is true. Let's go with that. And I have been so excited to be here. You all heard from Mia and Alex already, who are 2 incredible TED Ed speakers, and you will be hearing from a lot more of those folks. And the reason that I told that story about the jet lag is that it dawned on me that since I was a teenager, the YMCA has been an incredible force in my life, not just in helping me realize, one, that I had a voice. Before I participated in youth and government, I always had a voice, and if you asked my parents, they would say that I never had a problem using it. But through youth and government and leadership development programs at the Y, I discovered that I could use that voice to make change in my community. And then working for the Y, doing civic engagement and youth and government and leadership development, I discovered that I could use my professional life as a way to create space for people who maybe had not yet discovered that they had a voice and that their voice mattered. And now in the work that I do for TED, which in case you don't know is not a person, TED as in TED Talks. Anybody heard of TED Talks before? Okay. I'm glad because it's very hard to explain if you haven't. There's people, they wear microphones, tent their fingers like this. The work that I do for TED now is all about discovering and developing the next generation of ideas worth spreading. So every day I get to work with young people around the world, not all young people, but that's my primary focus, to help develop their stories and share them from our platform. And as soon as I started working at TED, I went back to my dear friends at YUSA, who were so kind as to invite me to participate in the World Council of YMCAs in 2010. And during that conference, I was the youth delegate representative and gave a talk because this was back in the day when the youth conference was separate from the World Council, and one of the things that we talked about was there needing to be more integration. And if this movement is all about elevating the stories of young people and amplifying their voices, then we needed to be doing that from main stage. So as soon as I started working at TED, I was knocking on the doors of YUSA and our friends at the World Alliance, and thankfully YMCA Europe and YMCA of England and Wales and all of the planning committee for this event said, yeah, you know what, we would like to elevate more youth voices. So throughout this entire event, you will hear from young people who my team at TED has been working with to help them develop their stories. And you'll get to hear from incredible young people who are doing remarkable work, not in some future time when they all of a sudden become leaders, but right now, because they are leading change in their movements locally and globally. So I feel really honored to be here and to still be connected to this organization that helped me decide the kind of person that I wanted to be, and now allows me to continue working with young people who are doing amazing work. So it's a very long answer to your question. I'm feeling good.
Right. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. My pleasure.
Another round of applause.
I'll be seeing you all tomorrow morning, nice and early.
So with more than 3,000 people here from every corner of the world, we are proud to celebrate your diversity and everything about your personal identity. We welcome every national movement and every culture to London.
Albania.
Angola.
Argentina.
Armenia.
Aruba.
Australia.
Austria.
Bahamas.
Bangladesh.
Barbados.
Belarus.
Belgium.
Belize.
Bolivia.
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Brazil.
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
Cambodia. Cameroon. Canada. Cayman Islands. The Change Agents. Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation. Chile. China. Colombia. Costa Rica. Cuba. Czech Republic. Democratic Republic of the Congo. Denmark. Dominican Republic. East Timor. Ecuador. Egypt. El Salvador. England and Wales. Estonia. Ethiopia. European Union, Fiji, Finland, France, Gambia, Georgia, Germany, Ghana, Greece, Guatemala, Guyana, Haiti, Honduras, Hong Kong SAR of China, Hungary, Iceland, India, Indonesia, Ireland, Israel, Nazareth, West Jerusalem, East Jerusalem, Italy, Jamaica, Japan, Jordan, Kenya, Korea, Kosovo, Latvia, Lebanon, LGBTQ+, Liberia, Lithuania, Macau, SAR of China, North Macedonia, Madagascar, Malaysia, Malta, Maori, Mexico, Moldova, Mongolia, Montenegro, Myanmar, Nagorno-Karabakh, Nepal, Netherlands, New Zealand, Nicaragua, Niger, Nigeria, Norway, Pakistan, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Philippines, Poland, Portugal, Puerto Rico, refugees flag of displaced people, Romania, including IKE Transylvania, Russia, Scotland, Senegal, Serbia, Sierra Leone, Singapore, Slovakia, South Africa, Sudan, Spain, Sri Lanka, Saint Vincent, Suriname, Sweden, Taiwan, Tanzania, Thailand, Togo, Trinidad and Tobago, Tunisia, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, Uruguay, USA, Venezuela, Vietnam, Zambia, Zimbabwe, United Kingdom, United Nations, and YMCA 175.
Please, now welcome to the stage, Tricia Pelton, President of World Alliance of YMCA, Mike Will, President of YMCA Europe, and Denise Hatton, Chief Executive Officer of YMCA England and Wales. Denise, Tricia, and Mike, get on the stage.
Now we're all gathered and ready to open the event to celebrate the 175th anniversary of the YMCA. Are you delegates already? Are you delegates all ready? Well, we are, but there's one, well, almost most important thing missing, I think.
Yes, there is. Here we go. The Paris base is transported by a group of young bikers from different YMCAs from Paris to London, where it all began.
So over to you, Denise. I think you're up first. Thank you.
Honoured guests, sorry, am I on the mic? Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, yes, all right, okay. So, honoured guests and YMCA family from around the world, welcome to London. Welcome to the United Kingdom and welcome to YMCA 175. It's a real honour for YMCA England and Wales to be the host movement for this YMCA Europe event in the year when we celebrate the 175th anniversary since our creation in 1844, not a stone's throw from where we are now. So many times this year, I have been reminded of the reasons that motivated Sir George Williams to create the YMCA. Sir George came to London and saw young men exposed to the social issues of the times. And as a young man of 22, decided to do something about it. Many of those social issues remain today. They may look and feel different, but in so many communities across the world, young people still need support to help them lead their best life. So during the week, keep in your mind the great leadership shown by our founder and the thought that one action to make positive change can lead to great things. When we leave here on Thursday, I hope we feel that we truly have been able to celebrate, connect, and create together as one YMCA family, and leave here motivated to be the change in our communities. And for that, I leave you with one short quote from Kofi Annan. "You are never too old to learn and never too young to lead." A quote for me that epitomizes YMCA gatherings such as this. So inspire and be inspired. Enjoy 175 and let's make this a great event. Thank you.
Well, hi. It's just a great time to be here in London, the city where the YMCA all got started in 1844. I've got a bit of a serious message here, so I'm going to use do some quotations, and you'll understand why in a minute. Throughout YMCA's 175 years, the movement has been providing safe spaces for young people to belong, contribute, and thrive in their community. Today, we aspire for a world of social justice and inclusion. Last July, at our 19th World Council, our movement adopted the following value statement, stating, diversity and inclusion are core to the YMCA movement. Therefore, the YMCA movement is open and inclusive of all people, regardless of their ability, age, culture, ethnicity, gender, race, religion, sexual orientation, and socioeconomic background. Therefore, the YMCA movement must strive courageously against any discriminatory behavior and will always abide by the UN Human Rights Declaration. In order to live up to this expectation, we must empower young people to be self-sustaining and resilient against negative forces in our world. We must be there to support them in preserving the dignity of those who are oppressed, marginalized, and uprooted. Challenge 21, one of our foundational documents, states that YMCA should build a human community of justice with love, peace, and reconciliation for the fullness of life for all creation. So, as we celebrate our rich history, let's not forget to take this opportunity to look into the future and take our first step together to build a stronger, more inclusive society for all. Thanks very much. Lean into this conference and have a great time together.
So, thank you, Patricia. 1844 to 2019, YMCA has been on an incredible journey, transforming and empowering young people globally for 175 years. Just a thought, if George Williams hadn't been obedient to the call of God in 1844, when he was 23 years old, to start the YMCA, our life journeys would all be very different, and none of us would probably be here this evening. My own journey, just quickly, leaving school at 16 with no qualifications, was transformed by YMCA volunteers encouraging me to go to college. 30 years ago, I had the privilege to attend my first international YMCA event, which made me realize that I'm part, and you're part of a much bigger YMCA family. That was in Euromeet, 1989. Still have the t-shirt. And the YMCA, if you look around this room, you see all these flags. The YMCA has the potential to empower young people and affect change in their lives and their journeys. And tonight, many of you, 3,000 people that are here from over 100 countries, will experience that same feeling that I had 30 years ago. And I'm delighted that YMCA Europe took the initiative to plan YMCA 175 and help shape your journeys as YMCA leaders today. So, on behalf of YMCA Europe's Executive Committee, our Secretary General, staff team, and the steering group of YMCA 175 that did all the work in organising this event, it is my honour to say thank you to you all. Thank you to YMCA England and Wales that are hosting our YMCA event here in the birthplace of the YMCA family. And thank you to YMCA Europe for the initiative of being the organising body, and to the steering group, as I mentioned earlier, for what promises to be a memorable and an exceptional event that begins a new chapter and dynamism in our YMCA family. But it would not have been possible to create this YMCA 175 event without the incredible support of the wider YMCA family. And some thanks we need to say tonight for making this unique project a reality in the history of a movement. Thank you again to YMCA England and Wales, to the World Alliance of YMCAs, YMCA of the USA, and YMCA World Urban Network. And a special thanks to all the YMCA leaders who encouraged young people to come to YMCA 175. And thank you to all you young people for coming to this event and believing in your future. Your support is inspiring and impacts on all our journeys. So just in finishing, so YMCA 75 is not so much about looking backwards, but it's about looking forwards. And there's a great verse in the Bible where the prophet Isaiah says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past, but see, I am doing a new thing." So, for all of you in looking forward to what that new thing is, my journey is not important, but your journey is. And my challenges to you are this: what change will you dream about for young people after YMCA 175? What will you do in the next 175 days to initiate that? The next 175 weeks and the next 175 months, which is 14 and a half years if you want to count that out. In giving thanks to all those who made the vision of YMCA 175 a reality tonight, it's just right that we give thanks to God who inspired Sir George Williams and continues to inspire many in our movement to achieve such milestones. And my prayer tonight and for YMCA and YMCA 175 is we look forward to a new chapter of YMCA, to a chapter that unites us in a common vision and purpose to look forward to YMCA 200, and that we breathe life into the words of our motto that Jesus spoke, that we may all may be one, and inspire the change that we need to be in our communities. God bless you all, and YMCA 175.
Let's see you on your feet, please. Let's dance a bit. You shout it out, but I can hear a word you say. Let's hear it. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm criticized, but all your bullets ricochet. I'm talking loud, not saying much. Let's hear it. I'm bulletproof. Fire away, ricochet. Fire away. Shh. But I won't fall. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. Let's see you move, people. Woo! You who have further to fall. I'm talking loud, not saying much. Let's hear you raise your voice. Sticks and stones may break my bones. I'm talking loud, not saying much. Let's hear it one more time. I'm bulletproof. Fire away, ricochet, just take your aim. Fire away, shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. Woo! Are you ready? Some hot machine guns fired at the ones who run. Sewn on like bulletproof glass. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. Let's hear it. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. Yeah, I am titanium. Yeah, oh, no. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium, baby. Woo! Let's hear it, make some noise. Thank you very much. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Florent. Wow.
That was amazing. That was amazing. That was Florence, y'all. So, I'm saying. So that's almost time for us. I can't believe the opening ceremony is almost over.
Yes, I know. Don't worry. We still have 3 days. Yes, whole days. There you go. Connect, celebrate, and create. Thanks to all the speakers and performers, the crew, and the creatives behind tonight's incredible kickoff to the event.
We're shortly going to be joined by someone really special, Tricia Hillas, the Reverend Canon Pastor of St. Paul's Cathedral. In spirit of the YMCA here in London, we'll be sharing a blessing that's inclusive and open to people of all faiths.
After the, yeah. After the blessing and a final fun number from the incredible Jake Isaac and his band, who you can see setting up over there. Yes, wave. That will be it from us for tonight. But if you stick around for another 15 minutes, we would love you to join in the devotion team in here for the final activity of the evening, which is the opening night's devotions.
But for now, that is from us as we hand over to Reverend Tricia Hillas. Thank you for being an amazing crowd, and welcome to YMCA 175.
Yeah. Thank you.
As a symbol of our connectedness in YMCA unity and in celebration of our worldwide diversity, I invite you to join with me as we pray a blessing over this global event of such significance and such celebration. So please, as you are able, would you rise? Almighty Father, from the churchyard of St. Paul's Cathedral, around the globe to the doors of the Excel London tonight, your blessing has flowed throughout the generations. And so we give thanks for 175 years and celebrate all that has been achieved. Christ the Son, from the inspiration of the young George Williams to the countless millions of YMCA members worldwide, continue to bless and inspire us wherever the YMCA is at work around the world. Spirit of God, from the north to the south, from the east to the west, blow your wind across Africa, across North America, Asia Pacific, Latin America and the Caribbean, and Europe, bringing justice, peace, and hope. Draw us together in common purpose to bring transformation in mind, body, and spirit. God of transforming love, bless these days. Bless this gathering. Bless all who represent the YMCA as we join together and with you in shaping and creating a future of hope and peace. Amen.
every burning star, a signal fire. If creation sings your praises, so spoken of nature and science, follow the sound of your voice. And as you speak, 100 million creatures catch your breath, evolving in pursuit of what you say. See your heart in everything you say. Every painted sky, the canvas of your grace. If creation still obeys you so. As you speak, 100 billion failures disappear. Where you lost your life so I could find it here. If you left the grave behind you, so will I. I can see your heart in everything you've done. Every part design, a work of art. If you gladly chose surrender, so will I can see your heart in a billion different ways. Every precious one, a child you died to save. You gave your life to love him, so will I. But what measure could amount to your desire? You're the one who never leaves the one behind. Yeah. So listen, this is our last song, and then we're gonna, I figure we might as well go out for bang. It's all right to go out and make a bit of noise, is that okay? That's about 5 of you, is that all right? Listen, if you know the words to this song, sing it loud, sing it proud, make sure you make your countries proud. If you don't know the words, make sure you have fun, is that okay? That's about 10 of you, is that okay? All right, go on in. Here we go. Come on, everybody, come on. Everybody, from the front to the back, come on. I was lost with a broken heart. You picked me up, now I'm set apart. From the ash I am born again. Wait. Forever safe in the Savior's hands. You are more than my words could say. I follow you, Lord, for all my days. I fix my eyes following your ways. Forever free in unending. Come on! 'Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, we lift you higher. Your love, never ending. Oh, hey. You are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. Come on. All right. In the midst. All right. Here we go. In the midst of the darkest night, let your love be the shining light, breaking chains that were holding me. You sent your son down to set me free. Everything of this world will fade. I'm pressing on till I see your face. I will live, let your will be done. I will stop till your kingdom